Today we celebrate Epiphany. And we have my normal microphone. Today we celebrate Epiphany. We celebrate the divine God being revealed in this scene right here. As a child in a shelter not fit for humans but animals, and to parents with questionable backgrounds. I love this celebration and the title, Epiphany. The word epiphany is defined as a sudden or striking realization that often comes about from something simple, ordinary, and everyday. That definition and today's celebration reveals to us a bit about what our faith is all about. On the one hand, our faith is about miracles, about a God that is anything but simple, ordinary, and everyday. A God who parts water, who speaks through burning bushes, who changes water into wine and raises the dead. But more often than not, our faith and our God is about the simple, the ordinary, and the everyday. We profess a God who shows up in a little baby boy, a God who disobeys and runs away from his parents as a child, a God who calls simple fishermen and average women to journey with them, and who chooses to continue to journey with them even as they bicker and fight over who is Jesus' closest friend and who will be the first in the kingdom of God as Jesus. We believe in a God who gets exhausted during the journey and falls asleep. We believe in a God who drinks wine and eats bread with his friends, a God who even experiences death. And we believe in a resurrected God that asks his doubting disciples to simply touch his side to believe, or to sit and eat fish with him on a beach. As Christmas comes to a close today, and as we return to work and return to school and start our spring calendars and find that ordinary pace of life again, we are greeted with the ordinary, simple, everyday faith in the celebration of the Epiphany. We celebrate this little newborn baby boy, one among billions, born in poverty and unknown to most. Surrounded by shepherds, their sheep, his parents, and eventually the Magi, there lies this little, vulnerable, completely dependent baby. And there lies the beginning of our faith and our church. And yet what we see in our readings today, what we celebrate in Epiphany, is that this ordinary child, these ordinary parents, this manger meant for animals, something striking and life-changing and unbelievable is happening here. Light is coming into the world in a way that it has never entered. Freedom and good news are being proclaimed and voiced in a new way. Community and fellowship are opening up. An invitation is being given to all people. The world is experiencing Epiphany, and it begins with sheep, shepherds, young displaced parents, and 3 foreigners from the east. And that Epiphany, that life-changing, striking event that occurred in that manger at that moment, has traversed over continents and across seas. That story has been told, lived, and experienced in billions of lives through 2,000 years until it finally arrives here in Sunfish Lake in Minnesota. Today, we are like the Magi, like the shepherds, like Mary and Joseph. We stand in an ordinary, simple, easily overlooked day. With the exception of ridiculously warm weather, which I'm not complaining about, there is nothing special at all, nothing noticeable about this place, nothing noticeable about me or any of you, except we know that isn't true. We wouldn't be here if we didn't believe it, didn't believe that something extraordinary was taking place, that there's something of deep meaning in these 4 walls. But what's happening? Why are we here? Why did the Magi follow a star to that manger? Why did those shepherds busy tending to their sheep stop? They realized something had happened. Something overwhelming, miraculous, and powerful had occurred God was breathing in the chest of a little infant. And that's what we know here. For whatever reason, maybe because of joyous events or disastrous difficulties, maybe because a friend called and invited us, or because we were just bored and driving by, for whatever reason, we chose to stop. We chose to come into this building because we see it and we know it in our hearts that God is here. God is here in the meal that we're going to share, in the prayers that we speak, and in the songs that we sing. God is here in the smiles, in the hugs, in the handshakes, and the kisses of peace that we offer. The creator of the universe is residing where normal, everyday people reside. The breath of God is breathing in our chests. The Epiphany, the striking, forever changing revelation that has traveled over millenniums, continents, and oceans, is the simple but powerful truth that we are no longer separate. No longer is there a faraway God. No longer are there Jews or Greeks or women or men. There is a near and close by God within one people for all people. God is here tonight. God is on Highway 110. God is in that bread and wine. God is in my breath, in your breath, in our words, and the work of our hands. The Magi, the shepherds, Mary and Joseph, they knew it. They saw it and bowed down, stunned and overwhelmed by the simple fact, the simple reality that they kind of always knew within them, but suddenly saw it in a brand new way, that God was present and God was with them. And beyond even that, they realized they were the ones that had birthed God into the world. They were the ones that were now caring for God. They were the ones that were offering their treasures, their gifts, and worshiping God. And it was there that our church was born, the universal church, and this church right here, right now. A people were born unlike any other. Jews, foreigners, and poor shepherds became a people together, and they became a light for the world. As Isaiah the prophet told us today, it is from these people, God's people, that all nations will see a shining radiance and be able to walk. And in the second reading, we hear that this message, this promise of God is for everyone, that now the Gentiles and all people are co-heirs in the promise of Christ to share in the life of Christ. This God, this presence, right here and right now, this love and beauty and freedom is pulsating here and out our doors for the history of everyone to share in. Today, we stand in a manger. We are the Magi, the shepherds, Joseph, and Mary. We stop our wondering for a moment, stop tending to our sheep, lay down the worries and cares of parenthood and families, and believe that somehow in our momentary stopping and recognizing God here and recognizing that love and beauty and freedom, that it will go beyond these four walls, that it will go down Highway 110 and over I-94 and I-35 and into our homes, our neighborhoods, and our businesses. Today, we celebrate the ordinary, everyday reality of our little church, and we proclaim that something is happening here. We proclaim those words of the prophet Isaiah, that we are that light, that shining radiance to the world. And we commit ourselves to that challenge of the second reading, that this gospel message, this love of Christ, this promise of life, goes beyond these walls to all people, family, friends, strangers, and even enemies. We stand up, signifying our belief in the gospel message that God is love and God is here. This celebration calls us to our worship, in our breath, and in our everyday work to proclaim that God is not far away. We are not strangers, foreigners, or enemies, unable to relate to one another. No, we are one people of one God, shining radiance of justice and peace to the whole world. And like the Magi, tonight We will worship God, but then we'll go out those doors and we will continue our journey. Like the shepherds, we will pause, struck by the overwhelming beauty of it all, and then we'll go back to tending our sheep. And like Mary and Joseph, we will sit down in the shock of it all, that our yes has birthed God into the world. But then we'll go back about our everyday tasks of caring for our infants and our children. But we will do all of this knowing that in our everyday, simple, ordinary days, God is revealed. God is made present in us. We become the manger scene